Hi, cousin. See my onion patch? Chard, tomatoes and chili peppers, some kale over there. I better spray them. They seem kind of dry. Good Canadian soil, non-GMO. My onion sets to get them ready in kale. And talkie time. Let's see. I was going to read you some more poetry. I'm going to tell you about my day. Went to the doctor. They don't know what's wrong with me. Happens all the time. Perfect health, and then I took a nosedive. I don't know what's wrong with me, but been on the couch for 9 weeks. However, you're sicker than I am, so I'll tell you all about that later. Anyway, I was thinking about you today. I was thinking, like, lucidity, that moment when you're dreaming, but you're awake, but you're dreaming. Silent lucidity. I was thinking about that today. I wonder, it's kind of philosophical too, if lucidity is your conscious or your mind. But anyway, I want to tell you about the allegory of the cave. I don't know if you know about it. Socrates wrote about it. Well, Plato wrote it because Socrates died, but it was Socrates' theory. It was a cave that was 7 men, all attached at the neck together, facing a wall. Behind them, there was a fire. They have a picture of it, the way Socrates drew it. There was a fire behind them, up. And then to the right, there was a light, an opening to the cave. And they had been there their whole lives. And they would stare at the wall, and somebody was behind the fire, which the picture does not show a human being, and making fire signals like animals and weird shadowy figures. And that's all the men knew. That's it. So the theory is, the allegory of the cave is, who's making the pictures? Why are they stuck in there? And why don't they ever look at the other light? So my theory was, I wrote a 30-page paper on it, that it was more Freudian, that outside of the cave was a spiral, and if they would just unlatch the neck thing, they could just walk out. It's not locked, they're just attached. So anyways, I do this 30-page paper on a Freudian theory of, and it really wasn't Freudian at the time, I just said it. One gets loose, and he goes out the cave lighted area, not the fire. And the sun is burning his eyes. And he goes by a river, and he goes back to save them, and they try to kill him. They want him to come back into the cave. The theory of this is, what do you think about this other light? Who's making the images? And are they imprisoned? So my theory is, you would need a teacher, like a guide, to come in, unloosen you, get you out of the cave, and walk you out. I did a whole 30-page paper on that. My philosophy teacher gave me an A+. He said, amazing theoretical Freudian approach. Tell me, what do you think it's like outside the cave? And I said, it's a spiral, mountain going up. And he said, how very Freudian of you. He's the one I speak at the universities with for Death and Dying. So I was thinking about you. Are you merely looking at the images that are projected behind you? Or are you attempting to leave the cave? Or, Brad, are you attempting to go back in there? Or are you dealing with the true sunlight and you're not sure which way to go? Are you one of the guys that wants to kill the guy that came in? That is my question for tonight. The allegory of the cave. In sign language, they do this. What does that mean? 7 men bound together by the neck, staring at a wall. Someone's doing images. There's a fire behind them raised, and there's a very weird area around the edge of the cave that goes to real sunlight. When one of them gets free, he attempts to come and save them, and they try to kill him. Interesting theory. Socrates, to this day, people are trying to figure out what he really meant by that. He also said the story of Socrates is that they called him a gadfly. Like, ugh, get away from me, Socrates. He would ask him questions like, why? Well, why? Why? How do you feel about that? What do you think about that? What is reality? What is dreaming? What is death? What is life? And they said he was a gadfly in the neighborhood. So he killed himself when they imprisoned him. He got on their nerves. He is considered one of the greatest thinkers of all time. So he said there's nothing worse than having Rome turned against you. He would just walk in the streets and ask questions and tell stories and theories and questions. Can you imagine somebody killing him for a question? The question I'm asking you tonight is, where are you at in that cave? Are you the ones behind him, creating the demonic images, tricking them, toying with them? Are you one of the 7 guys? Are you attempting to leave? Are you going back in? When you go out, what does it look like? I see a river and sunflowers, pretty wildflowers, and a beautiful guide. A beautiful person who helps me get through. Socrates, allegory of the cave. I love you.